I swear, I don't think I'd ever get used to the fact that the damn window switches are right here. I go over here every time. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the garage, man. Today, we are actually doing something a little bit different. Kind of working on a car item, but not necessarily in a car. Like, we're kind of making a piece of furniture, I guess you could. No, it's not a piece of furniture. Let's just get into it, bro. I want to say probably about 10 years ago or so, give or take, man, I made this boombox. So I wanted a stereo for my shop. At the time, I was working at a sign company, and it was a pretty big, wide open area. The stereo that I had there at the time, it had taken a crap, and I needed a new one. I had all this stuff laying around at my house. Everything, the 6x9s, the wood, switches. I mean, you guys know how it is. You just have junk laying around. I had this little like stereo boombox thing that you put in the back of like a single cab truck that somebody have gave me at some point, you know, and an old stereo. So I put all this stuff together and made my own boombox, bro. I had this old Pioneer stereo sitting around, and this is what I used on it. The only downside to this whole setup, back when I made this, all your cell phones had an actual auxiliary little plug, you know, for headphones, in which phones don't have that anymore. Now everything is going to Bluetooth, and this thing doesn't have Bluetooth. It just, you know, has the little aux cord plug. This is a cord off of one of my old vacuum cleaners. We had gotten a new vacuum, and the old vacuum was still sitting in the backyard in a little trash pile. I went out there and snipped the cord off of it. There is a 120 to 12 volt power converter on the inside of this that actually converts the 120 over to the 12 volt to run the stereo, and that's how this whole thing works. So now, while this stereo is a little piece of history, unfortunately I'm gonna have to tear it down because I need to use some parts from this because I want to make a new one. So I got a new stereo, a new head unit, and we are gonna make ourselves a brand new Bluetooth speaker. Well, there's gonna be multiple speakers, so I guess you can call this a Bluetooth boombox. So this thing is gonna do everything that that stereo couldn't do. The biggest plus to me is the fact that this thing's gonna have Bluetooth. And it's a touch screen. It's just gonna be a freaking upgrade all the way around. What? We got a little cleaning cloth for our screen. Prying tools for taking the dash apart if we were putting this in a car. Installation brackets. The link for this stereo is going to be in the description down below. This was sent over by our friends from MaxPeedingRods. Yeah, MaxPeedingRods make stereos now, dude. What the? Most certainly go down in that link, click it, go check this thing out. It's super freaking affordable, and what, dude, that is sick, bro. Look at the MaxPeedingRods logo on the screen. Oh, that's freaking sick. Yeet! Oh, my freaking shoe flew off. What the heck? Not gonna lie, I'd really like to put that stereo right there. In which the hell is this seat forward for? Is somebody sitting in the back? Bro, I swear to God, if I find out those kids are back here hot box. No, I really would like to put that stereo in the Blazer, but at the moment we kind of don't really have an engine in this thing at the moment. So yeah. So I guess it would be nice to have a stereo in there for, you know, the hot boxers. I'm just kidding, but whenever we do get that thing up and going, now that I know MaxPeedingRods makes these dope ass little stereos, I'm most certainly gonna be putting one inside the Blazer, hell, and the truck. What's really dope is these things are only 160 bucks. That's cheap as hell, bro. You can put one inside of every single one of your cars. I know I'm going to. And of course you're getting a discount. You put in Dbfam whenever you're checking out. I don't care where you're at, whether it's an Amazon link from MaxPeedingRods or on their website itself. You put Dbfam in, you're getting a discount off of their already really affordable products. And I don't know if you noticed, but that was an Amazon link, bro. Check out the link in the description down below. They're selling these on Amazon. MaxPeedingRods is moving up in the world, man. Amazon's already got your card information whenever you go in there checking out and stuff, so now you don't have to put your information into, you know, some other website that you don't know if you can trust or not. You can order it right off Amazon, website that we all know and trust. So what I think I'm gonna do to start off is we need to make a new box. I'm wanting to stick to the same kind of theme that this thing had, I'm just gonna be using stuff that I have laying around. So now I do think it would be really cool to make like some kind of Bluetooth radio out of like an old car part or something, but I was looking through the stuff in my backyard and really there's nothing that you can make a box out of for like speakers, you know what I'm saying? So I was going through like all my things and just looking at all my junk I got out here. This right here was once a twin bed. This is Braven's old bed frame. Basically only kept it to make something out of it in case I wanted to, because you guys know I make stuff out of wood all the time. Made this workbench. I made the bar that's in my living room. This is all basically wood, except for of course the bed of a truck. So yeah, I like making shit out of wood, and I think this is gonna actually work out pretty perfect because I got an idea. What the fuck is in that? Dude, why is this speaker leaking oil? Yeah, man, continuing with the theme of what it is I have laying around. I have all these speakers laying around. This has come out of like cars that we have gotten over the years, like that old DA, you know, like just stuff I've always just pulled the speakers out. If they were like an aftermarket and they seem like they're a decent speaker, I would keep them. So honestly, I think I have more than this. I think there's a crate full of them out there in the storage shed, but I don't feel like digging through the shed right now. So we're gonna make this work. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean them up really quick because they're really filthy, and like this one is leaking oil. And I figured out why. I had all these speakers right here magnetized to this piece of metal, and if you look directly above it, yeah, there's my grease gun. So whenever it gets hot in here, I guess this thing must be dripping, like sweating down, and it was running into my speaker. And there they are, all cleaned up. Now I decided to go with the two cheaper ones and these two JBLs because honestly they look a lot better, and my cleaning method, the Kenwoods, didn't really hold up to. And how did I get a bunch of oil off of speakers? Don't ask, bro. You don't even want to know. Believe me. Yeah, so I'm definitely surprised that this power supply has lasted so long. It says right on the side right there, ventilation required. This thing had zero ventilation inside of here. But anyhow, this thing was at one time mounted up here. It was screwed in. It wasn't just flopping around. So you can see the little broken tabs. So somewhere along the lines that thing broke, and it's just been wiggling around. And I also just realized that one of my speakers were unplugged. I never even noticed. So this thing should have been a lot louder. Anyhow, I'm gonna get this all taken out. This is the 120 volt in, and then this is the 12 volt out, and this is what runs up to the stereo. So I had the switch on the front actually breaks the 12 volt, not the 120. Reason being is I had this wired up to where basically if this thing is plugged in, this power supply is on, period. Whenever you turn it off, you are turning off the signal to the stereo, so it'll shut the stereo off, but there is always a constant 12 volt going to the stereo for the memory. So then you still have memory. Every time you turn this thing off, you don't have to go back and reset all your radio stations and all that shit. The downside to that is this power supply is literally on all the time whenever it's plugged in, and when you unplug it, then you lose your memory. So I don't know, maybe someday I'll try to figure out a way to like incorporate a battery into this, so then it can keep the memory off of the battery, and then whenever you have it switched on, the battery charges somehow. We're just gonna full-blown throw an alternator in this sumbitch. Into your early life, romance came, and it came, and it came. So there it is, that's our speaker box. Now it's not gonna stay like this, I'm gonna finish it. I don't know if I wanna do like that burn wood treatment like we did with the bar in there, or if I want to paint it. You know, I was kind of thinking about maybe sanding it all smooth, running some like caulking in all the joints to close them all up, and then like just spray it and paint it a color. I don't know, we'll worry about that later, but for the time being, I just wanna get everything all wired up and installed and make sure everything's gonna work, figure out where it's all gonna go, and then afterwards I'll tear it apart finish it and then put it all back together. Anyhow, but the idea here is that the stereo, the actual faceplate, will go right here. So this will be the front, and the only thing you're gonna see is just the stereo. So it'll be nice and clean and simple. And then we have the two 6.5 speakers on this side and two more 6.5 speakers on this side. And then I also put one of the 6x9s in the bottom. A total of 5 speakers, 4 of the 6.5s, and then the one 6x9. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and get all the speakers all screwed in so we can start on wiring this thing up. I already put a pigtail on the end of all the speakers because I figure it's gonna be a lot easier to do it with the speakers out of the box. So now we just go ahead and screw these things in and then move on. Holy crap, I have done all the tedious, like, hard work, I guess you can call it. Got everything in here all wired up. Speakers are all wired up. I have the power supply down here, and it's mounted. I ended up using one of these distribution blocks right here. So the 12 volt power that comes off the power supply is going into the bottom side of that distribution block, as well as all of the speaker wires are all going into the bottom of that. And then the top section is where I attached all of the leads coming off of the harness for the radio. And I obviously put an extension on there also, so we have a little bit of wiggle room, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, it just made it a lot easier to attach everything. And so now I have this side, this is the harness that goes to the stereo, and then everything on the other side of that distribution block goes to everything else where it needs to go, and I don't have to worry about, you know, it, I don't know. I guess I really don't know why I used the distribution block, but to me, in my mind, it just made sense. So now what I need to do, our harness for the stereo is now plenty long enough. I basically measured out the back side of the radio to see what size hole that we're gonna need to put on the front here. So I have that marked out. Luckily, this one slat of wood is like the perfect height for that radio. So now I just have to cut out a 7-inch square right in the center of it, and then that hole would be the perfect size for the back side of this radio. A little bit oversized, which is perfect. This came with little brackets that screw into the side right here. So I'm gonna be able to use these once we cut our hole. Basically this will go inside of the hole, and then I'll be able to put screws in on the back side. I don't know yet if I'm going to basically attach it like this, or if I'm going to end up just attaching it like this. I don't know which way is gonna work out to be better. If I do it this way, I'll probably have to cut this down a little bit. I don't know, I'll figure it out. Alright, well I still don't know whether or not I want to do that burn look to it or if I want to just tear this thing all down and paint it. Well, I mean, either way I'm gonna have to tear it all down to actually finish it. Check me out, dude. I actually went out and bought some freaking wood glue. What's up? You guys are always getting on to me every time I've made something with wood. Like, why don't you use wood glue, man? Anyhow, guys, I want to propose a challenge to the DB fam. You guys seen what it is I built with my stereo. I am challenging you guys to go and buy a stereo of your own. But remember, use my link, because I ain't gonna lie, whenever you guys use my link, MaxPeedingRods breaks me off a little piece. It's not a lot, but every little bit helps. So this stereo is already super inexpensive, and you are getting a discount by entering DBFam. On top of that, you're helping out the company who helps out what it is we do here. And I want to challenge you guys to make your own stereo similar to this. Now remember, you're gonna have to find a 120 to 12 volt power supply. I'm sure you could probably find one on Amazon. If I do find one, I'll link it in the description down below. If not, you may have to do a little bit of research for yourself, because that power supply I actually got from the sign company I was working at the time. We use these power supplies for the LED signs. So, but it's a pretty common transformer, man. I'm sure Amazon has them, if not eBay. But I am challenging you guys to make your own, man, and be creative. Like, I want to see not only creativity, but most certainly you'll get points for budget oriented and style, you know what I'm saying? Think outside the box. I mean, mine is just a big old square. You guys seen what this was. It used to be a bed frame, so now it's gonna spend the rest of its life as a little stereo that I might honestly turn into a nightstand and set it next to my bed. That's what I'm kind of thinking. So now remember, this is not the finished product. I am still going to build a top right here. It will be recessed in the same as the sides are right here. I'm gonna clean this thing up. We're gonna paint it or do the burnt effect. I don't know yet. I'll share that with you guys here in the future. But most certainly, if you guys are down for the challenge, I want you to post up your progress on it on Built Not Bought. Make your own thread of your materials. Take some pictures, progress pictures, and then obviously some finished product stuff. I want to, dude, I would love it if you guys actually participated in this. Maybe, you know what, I'll make an incentive, dude. Right now it's January, so not the end of January. I'm gonna give you guys some time. February 15th, how about that? I don't even know what day that is. I just know it's around the middle of next month. So you guys have a little bit more than a month if you want to participate in this challenge. My only rules is it absolutely has to be the MaxPeedingRods radio that you find in the link in the description down below. Has to be the MaxPeedingRods stereo. And of course, you have to use my link and enter DBFam, because you'll get it cheaper than you would anywhere else. Post them up on Built Not Bought, and come February 15th, I have a little bit of time to figure it out, but it's either gonna be just me voting, or maybe we'll make a video and we'll have the entire DBFam vote for which one's the best one. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna reimburse whoever wins. I am going to reimburse them for the price of the radio. Bang, bang. That's a good deal, right? So, hell yeah, I think this would be exciting. I am most certainly interested to see what it is you guys come up with. Please do make sure you share your progress on it on Built Not Bought. Huge shout out to MaxPeedingRods for helping the channel out like always, and for sending us this stereo out. I definitely want to put one of these inside of the Blazer. But now, it's time to get a final look at this thing. Remember, it's not finished. And we gotta test it, see if it even works, right? Get our power switch. Dude, that is freaking sick, bro. Look at the freaking logo in that. That is so dope, man. MaxPeedingRods is flexing right now. What? Mile per hour? Oh, I completely forgot to mention, dude. So you have a bunch of amplifier outputs. You have a plug that goes into the back of the radio that gives you USB inputs. I'm not sure exactly what this one is, if I'm being honest with you. But there's also a GPS antenna. And then inside of this box over here, I kind of skimmed through the manual. I believe these are dash cams. I think you can put one on the back for a reverse camera, and then the other one is an actual dash cam that faces forward. So you have a camera to face forward and a camera to face back. So this thing had a mic output. There's a bunch of outputs and stuff on it that I didn't necessarily cover. I mean, I'm using my radio as a nightstand. I am gonna get another one of these to put inside of the Blazer though, so I'll be able to figure all this stuff out when that time comes. I'm definitely excited about that. Freaking dash cams, what? $160 plus 10% off? Bluetooth music.
I don't smile, I don't frown.
now. I'll tell you right now, it will sound a lot better. I know sound quality doesn't really come across over the video, but it will sound a lot better once I get this top closed in and actually seal this thing up a little bit, because it's got some leaks in it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys participate in the competition, man. Peace, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.